All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is, what is it, Friday, March the 26th. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and this is the first meeting of the new Social Services Grants Committee for the City of Topeka for 2021. That said, it's our first meeting for the 2022 grant cycle process. I'm Karen Hiller from District 1. I'm the chair. Our intention for the meeting today was that it would be quite short, just a kind of check signals and make sure we're all on track meeting. If we do need to do some training or some work on any particular features, we can talk about that. But I thought we were good to go, so we will see. Just so everybody's got the parameters. Let's get the rest of the committee to introduce yourselves, please.
Christina Valdivia Alcala, District 2.
And Tony Emerson, representing District 4.
Thank you. And our contracted vendor to manage the program, would you go ahead and introduce yourselves as well?
Hello, I'm Jessica Lynn here. I'm with United Way of Greater Topeka.
Thank you.
Good morning, Brett Martin, United Way of Greater Topeka.
Okay, and our staff for the Topeka end of the contract is Corey Wright. You want to introduce yourself, Corey, please?
Sure, I'm Corey Wright with the City of Topeka Division of Housing Services. Okay,
and it looks like we've got a couple of guests from the agencies, which is great. I want to move right into the agenda. The minutes from the last meeting, which was in December, have already been approved by last year's committee. So we will move right on to electing our 2021 chair. I would invite a nomination from the committee.
I nominate Karen Hiller, Chair.
I would second that.
All right, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, I'm happy to serve. We did a lot of work last year, so we're hoping that this year will be the prove out year and we'll just roll. So we'll see. The business that we have is on item 3, which says review timeline. What I wanted to do first is to see if this first meeting is in our timeline as an onboarding meeting for a new member. Christina and I were on last year. Tony, you have served on this committee before, but did not serve on the committee last year. But we're on the council to approve the final setup for 2022. Is there anything that you need for briefing and backup to feel prepared for this year? And we don't have to do it right now. I just want to make sure that we get that for you.
Yes, and I can do it offline. I have not went back and watched the last meeting, the record of the last meeting, but I will do that. And at that point, if I have any other questions, I'll get with you.
Okay, and the documents, of course, we're out of the last meeting of this committee in I think December, and then were approved by the council in January, and that included a priority sheet, a timeline, and the scoring process. So just to refresh, there are those 3 documents, and it used to be more than that, but we took care of the kinds of things that were addressed. Really only one thing that was in the application form, and got it addressed in the priority sheet so that we didn't need to approve the actual application form as well. So there are just those 3 documents that the committee approved for moving forward. Okay, Christina, is there anything you feel we need to brief on before this process starts?
No, we're good.
Okay, thank you. And same question, Jessica and Brett. Anything that you need from this committee? Okay. Given that Liz sent out the timeline in the meeting notice just to help us out. And I've gone through that and sort of identified what it looks like our calendar would be. So what I want to do is review that with you and see committee members and United Way, if that sounds like an appropriate track. I decided not to mail it out, but it's pretty short. And if it works, we will probably just do consensus to approve what that meeting schedule looks like, and then pick a day of the week and time of day that suits this group the most, and have Liz go ahead and set the meetings for all of us. So does that sound okay? I'm seeing nods. All right. What I saw from the calendar was that we did need to have an organizational meeting in March, but after that, United Way picks up that process and takes care of getting out the applications, inviting the agencies to a briefing about the process, and actually manages, not only getting those applications out, but providing any consultation that the applicants need, getting them in, recruiting the committee, having those applications scored, and coming up with a recommended allocation schedule for us. And with that, the first time this committee should need to meet after today would be, I think, the first week of July, roughly the week of July 5th, to review the scoring and the recommendations. So help me, anybody, if you think I'm off base. Then if there are, once we do that, there's a very fast turnaround for appeals if there is an inclination on an agency's part to do that. And so it looked like the week of July 16th, we should stub in a meeting so that if there were any appeals, we already had meetings set to consider them. Then we could stub in, but maybe not need a meeting in August or September, where if for some reason the city's budget, there's a need to adjust the allocations based on the city's final budget being higher or lower than what we had in our process, then we would need to meet to affirm that or address it in some way. After that, the process is over. United Way takes care of the contracts and so on. We had scheduled, and this is actually looping all the way up to the top of that timeline, whereas last year we did a special meeting to focus on needs of seniors and services for seniors. We were going to do a meeting in either September or October and do a study session on outcomes. So I was thinking sometime probably late September, early October for that, based on our adopted calendar. And then we give ourselves meetings in October, November, and December to review the process that we've just gone through and prepare our recommendations to the council for the next round. How does that sound?
That sounds good to me. I think we're definitely going to have less meetings than we did last year. For sure.
Yeah. The committee worked hard, met a lot, did very good work. So we'll
Everyone did a
see.
great job.
Yeah. If that sounds okay, is there a preferred day of the week and time of day that the committee members and United Way would either say is not good or preferred?
Chair, I would just say for me, I'm totally open to meeting that week of July 5th. However, I would opt for it to be towards the end of the week, since I anticipate I may not be here the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So the 8th and 9th looks better for me. Yeah.
Finally, right? And I'm not looking at my calendar right now. Is the 8th and 9th a Thursday or Friday?
Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, this meeting was somewhat arbitrary, but is a Friday morning at 10. Is that manageable as a rule? for this group?
Yes, for me it would be.
How about for you all at United? Pardon? I'm watching you nod, Tony. Yes? Okay. How about for United Way?
It works on my calendar and we don't have any events that Friday.
Well, I mean, we're talking, I'm talking about
We're
that
generally,
Friday, but also
Yeah.
shooting all the way down through the rest of the list. Looks okay? All right, well, what we'll do, and Liz is on the call. Thank you, Liz, for getting everything set up. We will, we'll have Liz go ahead and book those, calendar them and send them out. And if it turns out there is a problem with any of them, let us know. Early or late in the month for these other ones, does it matter? We kind of get into the holidays, I guess, going late in the month. In November and December, when we get out there. I'll work with Liz on the time of the month. It sounds like, you know, the July 9th, and then 2 weeks later will be the 23rd is going to work for our the summer meetings. We'll find a good Friday in August, September that doesn't hit Labor Day and things like that. And then October, November, December, maybe because of the holidays, we'll try like the first or second Friday of the month and try and avoid running into holiday weeks. Sound good? You got all that right, Liz? Okay. Well, that's it then for our timeline. Are there any other items that members of United Way want to bring before the committee? We do have some guests. If any of our guest audience from the agencies has anything, please open up your mic and raise your hand, and we're happy to hear from you. City Manager.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I wanted to make sure and mention that I'm not sure, I saw an email that was going back and forth with you and Liz earlier that she copied me in regarding those agencies that had been funded by the police department in the past. I have a meeting with staff to go through that, scheduled for next week, to be able to give that guidance off to those agencies as to whether they go through the social service grant process or if the city is going to fund them through another source. So we're working through that to make sure that they're able to meet the timeline if they need to go through this process.
Thank you. Corey and I have visited a couple times about that, and it looks like there may need to be some alternative discussions with at least two of them. So meaning that they're not eligible based on the categories that have been defined by the priorities. So
right. So we're going to dig into that deeply and then make sure so that we can give recommendations off to those folks so they have plenty of time this year to apply through the process as they should, if that's what we determine. And then if one of them doesn't meet, then we can look into whether or not that's still a priority of the governing body to fund that organization. It just may need to come from a different way.
okay, thank you for that. Anything else? All right. Hi, you still say Chief Cochran. We got to change it to Bill on here. Just Bill. Thanks for joining us. Well, if I don't see any other hands, if there's no other business, we are adjourned until July, unless something comes up that we need to be convened for. Thank you, everyone.
Sounds great. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Tony, boom.